William Monroe. He was here a few weeks ago, and he was very impressed. And I mean, we are all impressed with Mr. performance and stuff like that. So it's great that, and they are promoting. They are promoting. This is wonderful.
Government's contribution. I know it's a tight economic times. Tell me about government's contribution to Carnival.
Well, when we were doing early last year, we allocated 700,000 in the budget for Spice Mask cooperation, and that has to do with the whole everything. So the whole operations, subventions, and stuff like that. This is the amount that we had in the budget for them last year. But you know, last year it was even more critical because when Spice Mask started again, there was a deficit which had to be paid first. So really, although we gave them $700,000, a lot of it had to go to expenses that occurred in the past. So whatever monies that they made for last year, this didn't go forward because they had to pay outstanding bills. So right now they are operating at a deficit because of what transpired. So the 700,000 is there. It will be for administrative cost. Also, for some of it goes into subvention, and we are hoping, because last year when we met with Spice Mask, we did indicate that they have to become self-sufficient. They have to begin to operate as a business. They are operating all year round. It's not like a month or two anymore, and therefore if you're going to be operating all year round, you have to find ways and means in which you can generate revenue for your operation.
I know the move is to get the stakeholder dependent on the payout that government, the subvention, but for now, what's the timeline in terms of subvention?
Well, I did say when we did the briefing, the cabinet briefing 2 days ago, that this in another few weeks they will be able to get something, maybe not all, but because understanding the financial situation that we are in right now, what is very important to government and what is absolutely necessary, every month you have to pay that, and then you deal with the other, as it come along. But we are confident that I spoke with the acting Minister of Finance on that, and they are putting structures in place. Spice Mask is aware of that, and I know that they are engaging the various stakeholders. And this is why, I did say last year when we met with the various stakeholders that they should not just wait on government to come up with that initial stipend, but throughout the year they should find ways in which they can raise funds, do fundraising, maybe partner, different association, do different things. So by the time you're ready to begin the process for the Spice Mask, you would have something in the kitty. By the time government gives you whatever, you would have started already. Because if you're waiting on government, sometimes it keeps you back. Whereas you can go ahead and
raise some funds.
Exactly. So this is what I would appeal to them and continue to appeal to them, stating, find ways in which you can generate some revenue, because even if it's for the year you generate $10,000, it's $10,000 that you can use to help you as you move forward.
So then when you get word for government, you just put it on top of that.
Exactly. As you move, because what they're doing is a business. It's a business. I mean, without the stakeholders, we can't have Spice Mask. But the fact is, Spice Mask is a national event, and government has a responsibility to give support. So whether it's technical support, building capacity, those are things that perhaps needs to be done. So we need to look at it, revisit, and come up with something that it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay. Spice Mask, a national activity. As we head to the wrap, your thoughts on its importance to Grenada, to the economy, particularly at this time where we're trying to improve our economy from the tough times it has been through?
Well, statistics have shown that it generates about $24 million into the economy. At this time, this is why I'm saying we can't cancel it. We can't afford to that. We need the revenue. And it's not that 24 million goes into the coffers of government, but the various stakeholders that benefit. It's a trickle down that takes place in the economy. So from the highest level to the lowest level, you benefit from it, and you see what takes place. The ordinary man, the vendors, the airport, the taxi, the hoteliers, everybody benefit. And this is why it's critical. And I've always said so over the years that when you look at Caribana in Toronto, it brings over $350 million for that weekend into the economy. We don't have the carrying capacity for the numbers of persons that will go to Caribana, but I believe that what we have to do is to continue to market it and bring as many people as possible, so that if we can move beyond $4 million to something higher, this should be the goal of the Spice Mart, that every year the number should increase, and every year the financial impact to the economy should be greater than the previous year.
Okay. Speaking with our Culture Minister, Senator Brenda Hood, on the eve of our biggest carnival spectacle, biggest cultural spectacle, Carnival 2014. And just before we wrap though, you're looking forward to the season, but I think I know you play mass as well.
Of course, I do. So I will be playing. I don't know who I'm playing with yet. I just have to see the costumes.
Yes.
But there are two bands that I usually play, either when I play with the one or the other. There are only two bands that I've played with in the past. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the costume. I mean, you cannot be telling people to support, and as the leader of it, you're not involved. You know, you have to lead by example.
Okay.
And this is why I mean, even when I wasn't the minister, I play. So the thing about it is that we need to involve as many people as possible. For me, the most important thing is that we have a clean and safe Spice Mart, and that the people that come here from abroad enjoy it, and they can go back and tell their friends what a wonderful time they had in Grenada. So next year it will be even greater than this year.
Incident-free, crime-free.
This is very, very important. When we sell the destination, we sell it as still one of the safest destination in the world. One of the positive feature of coming to Grenada.
All right. Thank you very much, Culture Minister Senator Brenda Hood, for dropping by and talking about Carnival on the eve of the festival.
Thank you so much.
This is the Grenadian reality. This is our current state of affairs.
There is still a place where untouched beauty meets soothing experiences and a warm people. It is a place where cascading waterfalls meet quiet meandering rivers to join silky stretches of white sand beaches. A place where you are greeted with the friendly smiles of the local people, while the rich aroma from the abundance of tropical fruits, fresh herbs and spices fill your lungs. A place perfect for curious minds intrigued by 18th century plantations, a water-propelled rum distillery, historical forts, and petroglyphs that are still visible today. A place where you can go turtle watching, feed mana monkeys, and marvel at water-filled craters created from extinct volcanoes. This place also allows you to enjoy perfect year-round sailing conditions while diving the world's first underwater sculpture park. This charming place is neatly situated in the Southern Caribbean and is popularly referred to as the Spice Islands of the Caribbean. These islands are Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So come visit us as we take you on a journey like never before. Come, experience the rhythms of spice.
From die-hard Grenada United Labour Party members Michael Batiste and the late Dr. Raphael Fletcher, to former Foreign Affairs Minister in the National Democratic Congress government Peter David, now an advisor in his administration. The two are part of a platform branded Project Grenada, a growing initiative that takes the role of all players in the interests of nation building. Abigail McIntyre reports on an unprecedented effort to unite the country, involving even persons who were once opposed to each other.
We are of the view that we can achieve so much more together than we can ever achieve by fighting and pulling at each other.
We cannot maintain old positions when we are faced with new challenges. What is the point of settling all scores in a zero-sum game in which there will be no winners? Our ambition, I repeat, our ambition must take a back seat to the people's aspirations to put the vital interests of Grenada to the forefront.
The merging of two political giants in Grenada on May 20th, 2014 was the latest in a series of initiatives setting the tone for an unprecedented level of unity in Grenada. The cementing of ties between David and Mitchell appeared to have further underscored a defining moment in the history of Grenadian politics. Proponents of the move says it's more than just because the former Minister of National Democratic Congress Party joined the realms of the reigning New National Party. Advocates brand it as the continuation of a new unity era where opponents become allies for love of country, another chapter in the unfolding story of Project Grenada. Project Grenada has been referenced as a unity platform that invites every interested mind around the table. It's the Keith Mitchell administration working with non-governmental organizations, churches, and trade unions. It's the momentum of the social partners meeting monthly in open and frank dialogue with the Prime Minister, perhaps a second cabinet, you might say. It's a move applauded by many, including trade unionist Chester Humphrey.
He said he'd be calling on Madonna Harford as president of the TUC, and he'd be calling on myself to help him build Grenada. And Grenada is in a deep economic crisis. So too is the rest of the OECS and Barbados.
So it's important that in going forward, in ensuring that Grenada navigates successfully, around this whole, I call it a tsunami of economic crisis, that people put aside, their partisan interest and put the country first.
I believe it is necessary, more so now than ever, that there be a unity among all the stakeholders in this nation. And all the players for the growth and development of this nation of Grenada must come together and share in this common goal.
We can remain in the division of tribal politics. We could remain in the trenches of tribal politics. It does something for egos. It does something for political testosterone. And it's the old way of doing things.
But as good as the intention of the Project Grenada mission, there are genuine concerns that there are some whose motives may be to derail the process.
Because, as I said earlier, of the tribal nature of our society, many of his opponents would not take that call very seriously. They might think, well, it's a call made basically maybe to immobilize maybe the opposition, or to so is the case and what have you. People will have different points of view, on the whole issue and so forth. Okay, but that call, as I said, is not one that should be taken lightly.
Whether or not they can be mature enough to have an understanding, one that is based on the term adiaphora, which has everything to do with this question of recognizing that unity is not about uniformity, a great difference. And this understanding can allow people of different backgrounds, different philosophies, even different political persuasions to work together on some basic common goals for the growth and development of the nation.
Project Grenada, many believe, must succeed as an engine powering this country's revival. But if the worst happens, the disunity takes precedence, there are concerns that this time Grenada could be headed for a deep fall.
We will not be able to progress. We will not be able to capitalize on the possible gains that we can have from a pooling of resources. We will be divided. And as a nation, we will fall terribly. I can see coming out of that not just the economic decline, but there will be a decline in the whole question of morality, a decline in the production, and a decline in the whole morale of the nation.
Government remains hopeful, however, and stands by its call for a united Grenada, Project Grenada.
I am not too worried about all the people who may jump on this bandwagon of unity. But there's one thing I've come to understand, is that time is a furnace in which our intentions are tested and proven. And if there are those who are wolves in sheep clothing who come on board this bandwagon of unity, they'll be revealed, and we not worry about that.
I believe, as Prime Minister Mitchell has said, this is Grenada's time. I believe in Project Grenada. Defining Project Grenada for me means simply this: discarding tribal politics and engaging in anything and everything that is going to propel Grenada.
The nation has opened its arms to our brother. And as the leader of this nation at this time, I have no alternative but to do the same without serious.
Reporting for State of Affairs, I am Abigail McIntyre.
And that's our picture this week from the home front. This is the current state of affairs. As we speak, our reporters and producers are gathering more stories from across Grenada, and we will be back here next week to tell them. I am Raul Titus.